Hey there, everybody. Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations, continuing on with another video for this sustained attack damage. For We're doing it for magic, but you can do it for whatever you want. So we're gonna go ahead and create this actor. So yes, make sure it's an actor. That's all you need to do. Make sure it's an actor. I didn't specify that in the last episode, and I apologize, but everyone should know that it's just an actor. So for this actor, the first thing we're going to do is up here in the components. We need to get a collision sphere. Well, I named it collision sphere, but it is a static mesh component. And then ACM collision manager. Again, nothing fancy. Is done with these. In the collision sphere, I have this sphere. Now, again, I'm going to stress this. If you don't make sure you have the correct sphere to match with what was, you could use the same cube if you wanted to. That was made in the first episode. I did mine as a sphere, just because. This sphere is an engine.basicshape/spheres. You need this sphere. So you just need to go to, sorry, you just need to go to engine/basic shapes and you'll see the sphere there. This is the sphere you need. Again, if you want to do the cube, then use that cube, but you need to make sure it comes from that same folder, because they're all roughly the same size. Only differences come from their shape. Let's go into the event graph. As you can see, there is a lot here. There's a lot we need to do. And I will start off by saying that there's absolutely nothing we can do. This event tick has to be like this. And it's only active while the spell is active, not the trail itself that we're making, the creation, the sustain spell. So it's not like it's active forever. I tried moving things off of tick, but visually it looked horrendous and it was causing spline generation issues as well. So trust me, I tried for a day. This all has to be there if you want things to work correctly. So before we get on to the tick and the rest of this stuff, first thing we're going to do is initialize the spell. It's a custom event. As you can see, there's a lot of things here, and that's because it's doing everything for the trail effect as well. So go ahead and pause to get what you need from here, and I'm just going to keep on going. After I remind you, go ahead and promote them to a variable, and then highlight all of them, right click, collapse to function, set up variables. So pause it now if you still need it. We're going to keep on going. The next thing that we need to do is create a new function called initialize actor. We're going to open it up. We're going to get a character owner. We're going to get the controller and cast to AI controller. And the reason we're doing this is that way the functionality of this, of how this sustained portion works, is different based off of, who you are. If it's AI, then it's going to do the trace differently. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue. You want, as AI controller, we want to get the component ATS base target. There we go. ATS base target component. If it has that, get current target. We're going to load that in. Player controller is false. We'll continue. If it fails, then we know it's the player. So player controller true. Get owning actor. Cast the ACF character BP to get the player character. And then we're also going to get the owner again to cast an ACF character to any character. We need this one specifically. So that's why we did this twice. But we also need this one specifically when it's not the player. Okay. Next thing we want to do is to set up the collision channels. Again, get instigator. I prefer the get instigator for this one, but you should be familiar with this by now. Go ahead and pause it if you still need more time, and we're going to keep on going. The next thing we want to do is get the area size. Oh, that does remind me. I duplicated a spell or an actor to make this. So we need these variables as well. Go ahead and pause it and get what you need from it. Here are the auto release is false, float is 0. None of these have anything set in them, intentionally so. They are literally just here. Let's for spell. I don't think that one's needed actually. No, it's not. Target lock. Yeah, all of these are empty. They mean absolutely nothing until we fill them up here. So make sure we have these. Then we're going to get the area size and break the vector for the Z damage radius. I'm doing Z just because I can. Z, I believe it's Z and Y are the surface directions for the decal. X is the up for the decal. So that way we didn't have to have an additional variable. Damage radius. So I have that set here. For the collision sphere, because if the damage radius is 200 in this case, where we have it set right here, then we want to multiply it by 0.01 so that it's 2. So that the new scale 3D is 2. I promise you 200 is much larger than you want it to be. Next thing we want to do is get the sustain type that we made in the first step. Get a switch. And then we're going to set timer by function name. We're going to call this function name pulse damage. Set the pulse frequency, which we have set at 1, but it'll be changed in the at the end of the video through the data asset for the actions and abilities. And then the return value is do damage timer handle. I don't know why I named it do, but it's fine. Now once we're done there, we're going to go ahead and get this done. So again, right click, add event, on actor damage, create the chance to apply status with the input of type of actor. And it's this again. You saw this in the last episode. So once you have this done, go ahead and unpause it. We are going to continue, because we have a lot to do here. There's a lot of complexity here. The next thing we want to do is we want to get the event tick. And we're going to create a macro. So come on down here to macros, hit the plus sign, auto release macro. This is cool because you can make it to where they can only do that effect for 5 seconds, and then it forces it to release the ability. It's a good way to control it if you want to. So bool, auto release, branch. If it's not supposed to, then it goes into false. We'll get trigger action, which we will be getting later. It's fine. get action elapsed time greater than the auto release time. If it's true, then we want to go into true. If it's false, go into the false. And if it's true, again, get triggering action and hit release action. So by doing that, I come in here and let me find it. Decal targeting functionality. I'm going to make it 4 seconds. Save. Play. And it's done. It stopped on its own. So that's what that's for. Turn that off. Excuse me. If it's false, obviously we're going to see if it's the player. And it's important that we see if it's the player. If it's not the player, then we'll go into this part and we'll do that after. If it is the player, we need to do a line trace. So go ahead and create a function called setup line trace. Very clean, very simple. And the first thing we're going to do is get the player character and get their camera. This is why we needed it, because AI don't have cameras. We're going to get the camera forward vector and multiply it by max target distance times 100. This is what makes it a meter. Otherwise, this would just be 20 centimeters. Now it's 20 meters. And then we're also multiplying it by 50. Now, this is a hard code. This is set up that way. When we go past the 20 meters, if we go left and right, the spell still follows left and right. Otherwise, it stays locked where it was at. If you move the camera left to right, it stays where it's at. It will only move left to right if you come back to where the 20 meter mark is. Do note that there will be edge cases where it will stop working. For example, if you target off into the distance, into the sky, and the sky is too far away, then it's not tracing anything, which means it's coming back with no hit. So in those very few cases, there's no way around it. You could make this insanely large if you wanted to cover that, but I don't see a reason to deal with that. Rarely ever happens. And then we're going to, again, from the camera, get world location. We're going to add the multiplied result, put it in the end, or to put in the end. And then I don't know why I did this. There we go. The start is the get world location. Next thing we want to do is trace channel is set to visibility. Actors to ignore. You can put the owner if you want to. I don't see a reason to. We do everything else that takes care of it. Draw time is 5 seconds. And then we return the hit result. Out hit. That's what I called it. Now, once you've done that, excuse me, we're going to confirm that, blocking hit, true. Great. We'll continue. Location. Now we're going to modify the location. This modify that we are doing here, this is what allows us to keep going left and right when we're past the 20 meter mark, and have the actor still follow the axis that we're going. It just this makes it to where it works even when the Z axis is locked. So get the character owner, get their mesh to get the world location. And we're going to minus from the, I just kept it as A. Take a look at this here. Yeah, I'm going to change that to location. There we go. Subtract location, or subtract the world location from location so that we know where the player is. And we're going to normalize it. We'll also get the vector length. And this is, oh, what was, I don't think it's called min. One second. I can't remember what it's called. I had to do a lot of research to find it. So it is quite literally just called min. I wasn't sure if it was one of those nodes that was named something else. So min float. And then we get the max target distance, and again multiply by 100 to make it a meter. Meter references instead of centimeters. So we're at 20 meters. And then we're going to get the normalize and multiply it by this float. We'll get the character owner, the mesh, get world location, add it there, return it. And then once we're done, we will set the target location. We're going to get the character owner is locally controlled. True, we're going to continue. Next is if it's not valid. We'll get the target actor, make sure that it is still valid. Target actor location, modify location. This way it still stays, you know, within 20 meters of the character. I mean, of the character of the NPC. Target lock. Update decal. Wait a second. We do that right there. Don't need to do that twice. Cool. The next thing we want to do is spawn our effects. So go ahead and create a new function called spawn effects. The very first thing is get the sustain type and make a switch. And if it's trail, we want to return. We don't need this if we're doing the trail, if we're only doing trail. For sustained and sustained trail, the first thing we want to do is check the Niagara effects and see if it's valid. If it's valid, then we will go ahead and come here. And this get is for this one right here, spawned Niagara effects. So out of this is valid, go ahead, well, before we do connect the is valid, grab the Niagara effects and search for spawn system at location, pull out of here to create this, make this a variable, then get it. If you don't already have the variable, make sure. And of course, right click, convert to validated get. That's what you'll do for here. Make sure the values are the same. And again, we'll do it with the effects. Now do note, I'm making it to where you can only choose one of them. You can't have both. Performance thing, and honestly, you don't want both anyways. For me, once I get it into my project, I'll likely remove the normal effects and try to keep everything Niagara. But it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. All right, we'll go ahead and continue. Next thing is update effects ground position. Now this one is very interesting and important, and I'll show you why. Let's go ahead and I will, no, we can't just skip it. So if I hit play here, and I'm doing this, and I point way up here, the effects of the tornado was pulling upward, was going into the sky, which was then making the ground effects float into the air as well. Didn't want that, so That's what we are taking care of here in this function. So we want to make sure the update affects ground position has an input of float. I named delta time. It's plugged into the delta seconds. And then an output of target location for vector. So let's open it up. Another line trace. This one is a little interesting. The first thing we want to do is get the target lock. And we're going to break it. And then make sure we create a start trace by channel. We want the visibility. Make sure you have this set up exactly how it is. There's nothing special about it. Then out of the start, create a make vector. The X and the Y get plugged in for the ground. We have the vector as 10,000. We then, out of the end trace, make another vector, X and the Y, and the ground trace that is 10,000, multiplying it by -1 to make it -10,000. This makes the trace go below and above the location, which then allows us to make sure that it stays firmly attached to the ground. Out of the hitbox, obviously we want to check if it hit a block, if it blocked a hit. If it did, get the location, target location, get the effects correct location. That's the function we need to make. We will in a second. First thing we want to do is find the vinterp2. Plug the target location into the target, delta time into delta time, affect momentum interpolation speed into interp speed, and return. If false, return. You'll see instead of getting target location that we have here, we're just going to get the unmodified target location to still have something get returned that is of value. Now let's go ahead and create this function. It's called getFXCorrectLocation. Make sure it's pure, and the return value is a vector. We open it up, and again, we have this all set up to where it happens based off of the world location of the effects. That's how we've been doing everything. So we want to make sure that it stays that way. So spawn Niagara effects, get world location, return. Spawn effects, get world location, return. If neither of those, just get the target location. Plug those in there. We're good to go. And I'm going to apologize now because I believe, find reference, that we have more than just these two. That is in the add trail, so perfect. We didn't need it yet. Never mind. Nothing for me to apologize for. It's the first time we used it. And now we need to set the FX world location. So again, another function I made, target location into locations. Make sure you create an input for that. And this is why I created a function. Because again, we want to make sure that we do things in a specific fashion. So, again, sustain type. This is important to make sure you do it correctly. And then we got the validated gets for the spawn Niagara effects and the spawned effects. And if there's no effects, it lets us know that there aren't any. That way, if they're supposed to be, because this will only run if they're supposed to be effects. That way, if there are none, we know that we're missing the effects. Compile and save, and we're just setting the world location. And next, we want, again, the sustain type for the switch. And for sustained, we will skip adding the trail. And before we do that last one right there, we will get the add trail. We'll make the add trail effects. So create the function and make sure trail and sustain trail is plugged into it, and then open it up. Not much to it, but this is arguably the most important part for the trail. is obviously we spawn the trail actor. Let's open it up. And this should look fairly familiar. We've done this a lot this episode. Get the trail actor. We're going to see if it's valid. If it is, we're just going to automatically return. Don't need to do anything else. If it's not valid, then we need to get our spawn actor, which is our trail actor. So this trail actor is of type AOE trail actor that we made in the last episode. Make sure that this is set correctly. That way this is set correctly so you're not having to cast. Because this trail actor is, the AOE trail actor object. So what's in the world right now. So if you can't plug this in, just disconnect it, reconnect it, and this will change to BP AOE trail actor WC object reference. Make sure you plug this in correctly, and you do the same for all three of them. This third one is if we don't have an effects, it's going to use the actual decal. Okay. And then initialize trail actor. Just for me, because it bothers me otherwise, I'm going to grab this here. Oh, that's target actor. Let me get our trail actor here. There. Disconnected. And we set up the initialization for the trail. So make sure you get the damage radius for the trail width and get the rest of these and make sure you plug them in correctly. Now we back out. We're back in the add trail effects. First thing we want to do is get our trail actor that we just made in the spawn trail. Get the trail spline, get number of spline points, make sure it's greater than 0. If it's false, return. Doesn't matter. We don't need it. We should actually probably... No, we'll keep it at 0. If it is, excuse me, then we need to get the trail actor again, get the trail spline, get number of spline points, -1, get location of spline point, and that get FX correct location that we made in a previous function. We will go ahead and get that, subtract it from this location. We're going to get the vector length and see if it is greater than the damage radius. If it is, if it's not, return. We don't need to do anything. If it is, we're going to create a spline point for that trail spline. And make sure the settings are the same. Again, get FX correct location, which we had right there. And then the trail actor, we will update trail mesh. And that's how it powers up the whole thing, if you recall, for that actor. And return. Then we need to get the target location, and we're going to update the decal. So go ahead and create a function called update decal. New location as the input for the target location. And then target decal is valid. Just make sure you do all of these things here. And then we need to, if it's not valid, we need to create the target point. So again, area size decal. There we go. This is the decal material. We're spawning the decal at location and getting the decal material and spawning it. Perfect. But we're not done. We have a couple more things to do. So the next thing we need to do, I think we already made that. The next thing we need to do is component begin overlap of our static mesh, the one that I called collision sphere. So right click, we want to add the event find on begin on component begin overlap. Again, get the sustain type and a switch. We only want this for the trail and sustained and trail. We'll get the character, the ACF character. We'll get any character, not it doesn't need to be the player, any character. Get their team. This way it works with AI, and we confirm that they're hostile. And if they are, we'll get the trail actor, add from parent. That easy. We made that in the last episode. Then event end play. We're doing all this just to be safe. Do damage timer handle. We're ending that. Target decal. If it's valid, destroy it. Spawned Niagara effects. If it's valid, destroy it. If it's not valid, we want to see if the spawn effects is valid. If it is, destroy it. That's it. That is both of the spells. And we're 30 minutes in. So we're going to go ahead and end this here. And in the next episode, we will go over making the action and setting it up within the player's ability set and going over some things to be aware of. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.